Shalom, shalom, all praises to Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai. Double honors to the apostles and the elders, the great millstone. Shalom to the elect. Shalom to the 144,000 by Hashem Rachakodash. My name is Yakabo from Plaintables Camp. And when you go into the virgin birth, you find out that there's inconsistencies between the Hebrew and the Greek. So we're more inclined to go with the Hebrew. So, of course, well, not of course, but back on Bro Yashawan's YouTube channel, which he updated in 2020, but hasn't uploaded a video since 2012 on this channel anyway, because he had chapters here. You can prove that Mary, the mother of Yahushai, the Messiah, and Joseph being the father of the Messiah, the earthly mother and father, Yahushai is the creator that created Yahushai, first spirit created. You'll see that the Lord's mother, Mary, was not a perpetual virgin. Now you simply go to, I was looking up, the prophecies. Let's look at the prophecy first. Isaiah 7 and 14. Therefore, Yahweh himself shall give you a sign. There's a little L there. All right. Should really be a big L. It means Lord. All right. Therefore the Lord himself shall give you a sign. Behold, a virgin shall conceive and bear a son, and shall call his name Emmanuel, which means God with us, I believe. That's 410, I know it's Allah. 6005 with us. That's the whole word. Allah, I am. Alright. So we go to virgin, we have H5959. And we got here Ha Alma or Alama, which means a young woman of marriageable age. Now, generally the word Parthenos means to be separated, unspotted. Alright, so this is Alma. So this is the prophecy in Isaiah 7:14. A virgin is non-descriptive. You can't use the word virgin. You can't use the same word to describe the same word. You have to go into the word. Esau, they have a habit of doing that. All right. Because the reason why you're looking the word up, because you don't know what it means, so you can't use the same word to describe the same word. It says marriageable age, made or newly married, a young woman, and it shows up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times, 7 times. All right. And this is where it shows up. So it means a young woman. So the prophecy is that a young woman is going to give birth to a child, and that's going to be the Messiah. All right. So she had to have been about 13 or 14 years old when she gave birth to the Lord, the Messiah, through Joseph's seed, because Joseph was the line of David, and so was Mary. All right. The genealogy is always the man, but for some reason, well, because of the Semiramis and Tammuz, different heathen beliefs that entered into what we call Christianity today. That's why people believe that. All right. Young woman, ripe sexually, made or newly married. So that should carry over to the Hebrew in the New Testament and the Gospels. All right, but it didn't. They just used the word. It carried over in the Hebrew, but it didn't carry over in the Greek. All right. So now in the Greek, the word there is Parthenos, which that really shouldn't be there. All right. Now, if you believe the word Parthenos just means separated and unspotted, no, you would just have to say it has not. It's not really describing sex. All right. You would just say you would use Parthenos as being what private. What does it say? Newly married, virgin, veiled and private, young maid. All right, so you can be veiled and private and still have had sex before. All right, so this word alma or alma or ilama, it doesn't mean that the woman never had sex before. It means a young woman of marriageable age. All right, inexperienced, ripe sexually, made, newly married. So that should carry over to the Gospels. All right, now in the Greek, you have Parthenos. So one way you can look at it is, well, if they're using Parthenos here and they're using Alma here, and they should mean the same thing or something very similar. But as it's written, things translated into another tongue don't have the same force. All right. So this may have been a word that the author was closely related to Alma, which Alma or Ilama does not mean never had sex. So you can look at it in that sense. Or you can just say, well, they had the wrong word there. It should be a better Greek word that they could have used to put there. But either way, the prophecy is that a young woman of marriageable age shall conceive and bear a son, and shall call his name Emmanuel. All right. So here's the scriptures to prove it. You got Luke 2 and 21. And when 8 days were accomplished for the circumcision of the child, his name was called Yahushai, which so named of the angel before he was conceived in the womb. And when the days of her purification according to the law of Moses were accomplished, they brought him to Jerusalem to present him to the Lord. So Mary was purified because she conceived seed. All right, every woman, well, it tells you right there. I'm going to recant it. I can just read it. As it is written in the law of the Lord, or Yahweh, every male that openeth the womb shall be called holy to Yahweh. All right, and then it goes into a certain amount of time you look up in the law for a male child and a woman child. And then he offers sacrifice. All right. So if it was immaculate, why would she need to be purified? And this is the point that we bring out. All right. Now, if you believe that Mary never had sex, I mean, okay, it's not. It's less important. It's important because it's the truth, but it's not like you can believe that. All right. You're more than likely not of the elect. All right, because the elect teach the other elect, and they believe. All right. Mary was not a perpetual virgin, meaning never had sex. Joseph and Mary had sex and conceived the Lord. All right. Here's another example. Revelation 14:4. These are they which were not defiled with women, for they are virgins. All right. So virgin is used as being pure, being clean from defilement. All right. So a man can be a virgin, and the word there is parthenoi, or parthenoi. All right, which is root word is parthenos, as you can see there, or partheni. All right. So this is they sung over a new song. So these are the elect. 144,000. Some people are so simple to believe that the 144,000 elect, these are men that never had sex. People actually believe that. I've heard that before. All right. The elect prophets, many of them want to have wives and children. And just like Peter and some of the apostles have wives and children. All right. And Luke 8. Then came to him his mother and his brethren, and could not come at him for the press. So Yahushua had brothers. And it was told him by certain which said, Thy mother and thy brethren stand without, desiring to see thee. And he answered and said unto them, My mother and my brethren are these which hear the word of Yahweh and do it. So clearly it tells you here that Yahushua, the Messiah, had brothers. All right. So I got the Hebrew Bible. Well, I'm going to give you the renditions first of that Parthenae. This is BibleHub.com. The apostles use it from time to time. I know Apostle Tahar does. And I put in, because this is a formation above Parthenos. Parthenos is the root word. And this was there in Matthew 25. Talks about the 5 are wise, 5 are foolish, if I'm not mistaken, right? And the virgins that prophesied, they were prophetess, meaning that they had dreams and visions, and they told it to the prophets or told it to the family members that were men, and then they brought the word out. Revelation 14:04, the Israelites, prophets that were not defiled with different doctrines, that have the name of Yahweh and the Son Yahushua, that understand the 100% truth. All right, they were considered Parthenos or Parthenae. All right, so that's the actual word that's there for these. But it's a rendition of Parthenos. The point is, it translates as virgins in the English. That's how we know that the you can use virgins in different ways. All right. Now, Mary was unspotted from the seed of man before she was spotted with the seed of Joseph. All right. So the prophecy is that a young woman was going to conceive. The prophecy is not that a young woman was going to conceive without having sex. That's not in the prophecy. All right. So all those virgins arose. You got Parthenae. The root word is Parthenos. Daughters, virgins, which did prophesy. All right. Parthenae. Parthene. Yeah. For they are virgins, these are they, which are not defiled with women. Yeah, Parthene. All right. So that's the word. The root word would be Parthenos, used to describe men and women. All right. That would be pure or unspotted, separated from different doctrines and false religions. And if you're going by the same context, these daughters here were the same way. They were pure and unspotted from false doctrine and false religions. All right. Now, just because they're women, your mind may leap to, but this one's talking about they weren't married, they never had sex with a man. But if we go in the same cadence with the other scriptures, it's not talking about sex at all. Okay? So I'm finding this out, and I'm relaying the information as I see it. All right? Matthew 25:7, Matthew 25:11, Acts 21:9. These are the daughters. All right? because it doesn't give you any other context clues about whether they were married or not. All right. Revelation 14:4. For they have kept themselves chaste, for they are virgins. All right, meaning that they kept them. They have the 100% truth. They have the name of the Most High, the name of the Son, Yahweh and Yahweh Shai, and they're doing the will of the Lord. They're clean. They've received grace, and they've effectively used it. All right. And you're going to end on the Hebrew. I think I had a lot of it. This is the ancient-hebrew.org. Hebrew NT. All right. Ancient Hebrew Research Center. Hebrew New Testament. Now, they still have the name of Yahweh Shai as Yahshua. All right. I don't think any translation says Yahweh Shai, but we know the truth. Right. That's what they constantly translated as Yahshua. So I did check that when I pulled this up. Oh, and you can get the PDF book. All right. So I'll put this link in the description box so you can see it, so you can keep it for your records. So this is Matthew 1:23. All right. No, it's not Matthew 1. Yeah, this is Matthew 1:23. Oh, now it's not coming up. Yeah, it was coming up. It was translating. Now it's not translating. Alma. That's Satan. It was translating. Child. Boy. Son. Yeah, it was translating, but you just have to know how. You got to know the Hebrew. I mean, it's Ha, I, Lama, I, Alma. All right. So that's what should be in Matthew, in the Hebrew, Matthew 1:23, which is the same thing that's in Isaiah 7:14. Well, let me just so you can see it, get a visual. Got the Edomite on there. Alma, young woman, a maid. Okay, ripe sexually, made, newly married. All right. Get married, give birth to a son. And then they still have Yahshua here, which his name in the Hebrew is Yahweh Shai. You could say this is another way to say the he saves or he delivers, but that's not the way the Lord's name was. You got more than one way to say like the same thing, but that's not the rendition of he's saved or he deliver. All right, it's Hawashai, Yahawashai. All right, so Alma should be there in the Hebrew. What I have here. What was this? Bathwala. So this is, I believe, 14:40. 14:04. This is Revelation 14:04, and we got Bathwa Lawath, which the root is Bethwala. When you go to what Genesis 24 talks about Rebecca. All right. So a man can be Bethwala, which means separated, unspotted. All right. So when you look at it, you can look at these words, Bethwala, Parthenos, because they don't necessarily have to be, do with actual sex. All right. You know what it's referring to by context. All right. But typically you would use the word Bethwala for unspotted woman. All right. See, I was saying virgin maiden, but it's saying it's about the elect. All right. And so that was some information on, the virgin birth and evidence to prove that Mary was not a perpetually unspotted from the seed of man. Because these words have evolved and gotten corrupted over years because of false doctrines. All right. Again, the prophecy is that a young woman was going to conceive and bear a son, not a young woman that has never had sex with a man is going to conceive. That's not in the prophecy. All right. Let's go back to Alma right there. Ha Alama. Give birth to a son. Wakwarawa. Call his name. Call his Shamai. Shamwa. His name. Put. Place. Yeah. Put. Sham. Yeah. That was one of that years ago. His name. It means put. Sham. Right. But name in this context. Emmanuel. All right, so this is has been the virgin birth myth. All right, hope you edified. Shalom.